What it do, homies? We are back with some more Death Battle. This time we are checking out Cell versus Metal Sonic. Interesting matchup, right? Two man-made organisms, androids, if you will, that both had base form that needed to consume something to get to their final form. You know, most of the information I found out about Metal Sonic was kind of like on accident or whatnot, or just kind of like in proximity because of the Bowser and Eggman battle, and being how Metal Sonic is one of Eggman's trump cards. I learned a little bit more about Metal Sonic. Now, obviously, we're going to get a little deeper in here, but I don't know who I could pick as a winner. You know what I mean? I feel like the Chaos Emeralds will give Metal Sonic a huge advantage over Cell. You know what I mean? Who needed to? I mean, he absorbed Goku. He got pretty powerful, but they're both planetary for sure. But I feel like Metal Sonic's universal. You know what I mean? Is Cell universal? I don't know. Let's go ahead, shut up, turn it up.
There's a monster stalking Ginger Town. No one who's seen it has lived to tell the tale. All it left behind was their clothes.
They got turned to slushies.
Something ate these people's insides, leaving only a shadow behind.
Some kind of creature driven only by the need to feed. Earth's new apex predator, the ultimate life form.
The Namekian Piccolo went to an...
I remember watching this scene, and it was a little bit eerie watching it as a kid, how he was just kind of like sucking people up. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was in the original soundtrack, right? Made it more creepier than the American one.
Investigate this manslayer and discover that it was intelligent. Its tail could unravel to absorb its hapless victims and add their energy to its wretched gestalt.
But the nightmare was only just beginning, because for its last trick, somehow this freak of nature knew the Kamehameha.
The mystery of this creature's origin was decades in the making. Years ago, the world was terrorized by the most advanced paramilitary organization in history, the Red Ribbon Army.
Until they got rocked by this little kung fu gremlin, Son Goku.
But Red Ribbon's dream of revenge lived on within their head scientist, Dr. Gero.
Hiding away in his spooky cave laboratory, Gero would go to work studying the Z fighters from afar, learning everything there was to know about them.
And building a series of androids that would destroy his spiky-haired nemesis once and for all.
He made a ton of them. Infinite energy androids, key-absorbing androids, trucker head androids, and even ginger androids.
However, none of Gero's creations were capable of matching that drive to improve that Goku and his fellow martial artists possessed.
Luckily, he had one more android left. A cute little booger so complex he'd take years after Gero's death to complete. Its name was Cell.
Born from a single cell, get it? This android possessed the genetic information of all the greatest warriors that had battled on Earth, and when fully evolved...
Did you just say extremely annoying to draw? Probably because of all the... I didn't even peep that. Is he annoying to draw? I guess with all the freckles, that's... Okay.
Would become unstoppable.
And with their DNA, Cell absorbed all their powers and techniques too.
Common among all of them is the power to manipulate ki, or the energy that exists in all living things, and weaponize it to fire energy blasts, fly at faster than light speeds, move things with telekinesis, and create force fields.
From the humans, Krillin and Tien, Cell knows the multiform technique, Destructo Disc, and the Tri-Beam, his extra special favorite. Oh, weird, I'm not seeing Chaozu on this list. Sorry, bud.
Self-destruct.
Is Chaozu human?
Oh.
Okay. Cell can fire the death.
Oh, bro, I just realized, right? Because remember when Cell was about to self-destruct, take everybody with him before Goku done transported to Kami? Bro, was that Chaozu's ability, that self-destruct ability? Bro, I'm just not realizing that. It might not be true, but that's crazy if it is.
Beam, as well as breathe in and travel through the vacuum of space with the alien genes of Frieza and his father.
And because he's got Piccolo's DNA, Cell can regenerate humongous damage to his body at the cost of some ki.
Cell has survived having half his body vaporized multiple times and cannot be destroyed unless the small cluster of cells at the core of his being is eradicated.
Should that little bugger survive, Cell will always return, even stronger than before because of the Saiyan DNA he got from Goku and Vegeta. Definitely the cream of the genetic crop.
Sure, he can perfectly replicate attacks like the Gallic Gun, Spirit Bomb, and of course Kamehameha, as well as teleport by locking onto a living being's key signature.
But the best part of being a Saiyan is how much crazy stronger they get every time they almost die.
They can even evolve to become orders of magnitude stronger in the midst of battle. Combine that with Cell's healing factor, and he is effectively the ultimate warrior.
Like a perpetual shonen motion machine.
Driven by a biological imperative, Cell wanted nothing more than to devour Giro's previous androids, 17 and 18, believing it would make him perfect.
Only one problem. The Cell we know was born in the future, and both 17 and 18 had been destroyed. So he murdered Trunks and went back in time. Not our Trunks, future Trunks. Well, not future Trunks, but another future Trunks. It's very complicated. There's like 5 timelines.
As Cell
it's not
defeated
that
and absorbed
complicated.
the androids, he evolved. Not only getting stronger, but changing his personality and developing a lust for battle.
He became less creepy bug serial killer and more, well, Saiyan. After exploiting that very Saiyan arrogance and warrior's pride, Cell finally became perfect.
And easily dominated Trunks and Vegeta, the latter of whom had decades of battle experience under his belt.
Perfect Cell's power was off the charts. He could threaten the whole Earth just by
You know, I just thought about something. This is essentially a battle of organic versus science. No, not science. Sorry, science versus magic. Right? Chaos Emeralds, Metal Sonic. Obviously, he was created using science, but you know, don't he get his powers from the Chaos Emeralds? Isn't that magic? Science versus magic. Is that what we got going on here?
powering up. With a full power Kamehameha, he was even capable of destroying our entire solar system.
While the vast majority of our solar system's mass is located in the sun, this still means that Cell's key wave would have to reach 2.8 billion miles to eradicate every planet.
But Wiz, maybe he was just exaggerating.
Not likely. Cell's claim has been backed up in multiple guidebooks, and even demonstrated outright in the video games.
Cell's even stronger in the anime adaptation, considering the time Frieza blew up Namek. In the anime, the explosion was literally hundreds of light years wide and lit up the friggin' galaxy.
And Cell was far stronger than Frieza was at that point in time.
Hell, the Namekians could sense him all the way from a different galaxy and thought he might be a threat to the whole universe.
He's also incredibly fast, capable of blitzing even the strongest Z fighters at the time. Goku flew from Grand Kai's planet of heaven all the way to hell, hundreds of billions of light years in half a minute. And that was in his base form.
Yeah, that's cool, but how about the power to squeeze Mini Cell Juniors out of your...
Wait. Survive the planet-sized Final Flash, that's sure, right? But didn't he specifically say that if he didn't dodge last minute, that would have... Did he say that? If he didn't dodge last minute, he would have been out of there? So I guess technically he did survive it. He didn't survive the full blunt of it, like his whole body. You know what I'm saying? Unless I'm tripping. Compared to the Supreme Demon King Deborah. Also, they said Super Perfect Cell was comparable to Super Saiyan 2.
But what? Never heard of that key technique? Call it the Kegel.
Perfect.
Say, don't. I thought you
Hey,
bring
real
in.
quick, did you know Death Metal launched our own tabletop gaming channel? It's
I
called
didn't know if he's gonna bring Cell Max into this, and I'd be like, okay, well, I don't know what you could bring equivalent to Metal Sonic, but all right.
Time and again, the world and its cuddly forest critters were threatened by the evil and oval Dr. Ivo Eggman Robotnik.
And time and again, that same world and those same critters were saved by Sonic the Hedgehog. No matter how many robotic badniks the good doctor threw at his blue spiky nemesis, his schemes were always 6 spin jumps to the glowing wing spot away from getting cracked and scrambled.
But it wouldn't be over easy for Eggman. If he couldn't defeat the Blue Blur, he would make his own, Metal Sonic.
Well, 0 points on creativity for that name, but goddamn, he
Simple.
does look metal as hell.
They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, so Eggman built Metal with more than enough blast processing to match his prototype.
Metal can zoom around at massively hypersonic speeds, fast enough to fly to nearby planets in seconds.
He's tougher than Eggman's standard equipment, some of which can survive black holes.
Metal can use all of Sonic's power-ups and even replicate his classic spin dash and light speed attack.
But he's got moves of his own.
He can attack with energy blast, fire a chest laser, surround himself in an electric aura, or an impenetrable force field.
By overloading his circuitry with energy, Metal can activate V maximum overdrive, quadrupling
Impenetrable force field, right? Kind of similar to Cell's his defense, you know, the key kind of spear. I don't know if that's impenetrable though, right? That kind of acts as though a force, right? Where it's almost like it loses its effectiveness the wider it gets, versus Metal Sonic's impenetrable barrier is kind of just around him, right? So I think that's good. I think that might be a deciding factor, y'all.
his acceleration and obliterating anything in his path. at the risk of self-destructing.
You'd think all that'd be enough to turn the rodent into roadkill, but it only took one showdown on Stardust Speedway to send Metal to the scrap heap.
On paper, Metal should be able to outmatch Sonic in every way, and yet he doesn't. For some reason, Eggman wasn't able to capture that ineffable quality that makes Sonic the fastest thing alive.
Chili dogs.
Metal's defeats at the hands of Sonic and his friends sharpened his AI into a seething hatred of his rival and a burning desire to prove himself superior.
Yeah, well, when you're getting your supersized red ass handed to you by Charming B, you know something's gone horribly wrong.
Metal's defeats gave him an existential crisis. If he was created to surpass Sonic and couldn't even manage that, what was he? Why should he exist?
Never one to admit defeat, Eggman took Metal back to the drawing board and birthed him anew. You.
This Neo Metal Sonic was, above all, far smarter.
Especially after he copied Eggman's intelligence and took over his empire. And we mean literally copied. If Metal started as Sonic's copycat, why not hunt all of his furry friends down and copy them too?
Neo Metal Sonic is equipped with scanners in his optic receptors that can copy a person's biodata, giving him the ability to recreate all of their abilities in seconds.
Like the Sonic Boom, Knuckles' Hammer Punch.
What was that? So you just grabbed all of Cell's abilities just like that. Regenerate. Hold on. What did you just say to me?
That can copy a person's biodata.
Y'all, tell me. I think this is a wrap. I didn't know about that. Cell.
Giving him the ability to recreate all of their abilities in seconds.
Like the Sonic Boom, Knuckles' Hammer Punch, Tails' magical swiveling asshole, and Big's ability to suck at fishing.
Metal isn't just learning their moves, he can replicate more esoteric powers like Silver Psychokinesis, manufacture Rouge's mechanical bat guards, or alter his very biology to copy Espio's chameleon invisibility. It's worth mentioning that biological data is a real scientific term and can refer to molecular structures like the genome sequence within a living organism's DNA.
Yeah, his copying is so busted, it doesn't really matter that he's a robot made of metal. If you can do it, so can he. Probably helps that he can shapeshift and regenerate his whole body from a puddle.
Likely by copying one of the mightiest beings on the planet, the god of destruction, Chaos.
Not the only chaos he's encountered.
By scanning the ultimate life form, Shadow the Hedgehog, he gained his ability to manipulate some of the most powerful artifacts in the universe.
You mean the Chaos Emeralds?
Yes. The emeralds contain an infinite wellspring of mystical power and life energy. With them, Metal can perform Shadow's chaos control. He can teleport, warp, and distort space, boost his speed, and stop time. And with either the Chaos Emeralds or Master Emerald, he can transform into super...
Bro, man, come on, man. This gotta be... What am I missing? We just went over Cell and his abilities, but I just feel like this is a wipe. Like, this is a... Like, why is this even a matchup, bro? Huh?
Or Neo Metal Sonic.
Completely invulnerable and completely golden, Super Neo Metal Sonic can move at faster than light speeds and has the power to move continents.
The emeralds are inconceivably powerful. They've been used to fuel Eggman's Death Egg, which could obliterate star systems.
On their own, they can even create and destroy whole universes.
Other super characters like Sonic have battled and defeated beings like the Time Eater, who could destroy multiple dimensions and timelines in seconds. At their peak, 3 super hedgehogs have even fought Solaris, who nearly consumed Sonic's entire multiverse.
So Super Neo Metal Sonic should be just as powerful as any of them, though he's gotta be quick because all that power only lasts a short time.
The road to total domination was nearly at an end. After manipulating Sonic and friends and copying their abilities, Metal eventually combined their biodata with the mighty Egg Fleet and became Metal Overlord.
Complete with missiles, giant crystal projectiles, and the strength to match 3 supersonic heroes all by himself, Overlord is all-time final boss material.
And he knew it. His ego might as well have had its own health bar. Metal's drive to surpass his rival had morphed into the delusional belief that he was the original, and Sonic the loathsome copy.
A copy that Metal had finally outclassed. All the heroes Metal had gathered had to team up to take him down.
He may have stolen their abilities, but Metal never possessed the thing that made the Sonic heroes successful, their friendship and teamwork.
Aw, how cute! Gag. Probably should have added some of those goddamn rails to the final boss fight, because it is impossible to land on those things. Ahem. After getting trashed again, Eggman reprogrammed Metal to purge any bits of rebelliousness from his code.
Metal returned to being the Eggman Army's chief enforcer, always proving invaluable as the Bad Doctor's greatest creation, now completely obedient once again.
I don't know, Wiz. Who knows what's really going on behind those glowing red eyes? Maybe Metal is more cunning than he lets on, and is only biding his time until he can take over again.
Oh, no,
Maybe
man.
the most powerful thing that Metal copied was the ability to lie.
I don't know. I feel like it's a.
Hey, I'm Chad.
I feel like it might be a wash, y'all. I really do. I'm just going. We just go chalk it up. Say there's something that I'm missing. Apparently, it always is something super obvious that I forgot. But you know, nuclei. The way he doesn't have the ability to absolutely destroy cells and nuclei, right? Cell, every time he gets destroyed, he comes back much more powerful because of the same blood. So it's possible he can just keep getting annihilated by Metal Sonic because he's not obliterating Cell that often. So therefore, Cell gets stronger. All right, we'll stop guessing. Let's watch it.
Data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Salutations, Dr. Robotnik.
Salutations.
Your reputation precedes you.
Good voice actor.
Bring me your strongest fighter or face
Good voice actor.
and prepare to kneel before your master. Perfect.
Remix Cell thing. Buzzing right through it.
Tell me, does a machine like yourself ever experience fear? Not anymore!
Animation's fire. That was quick. Cell's not in his final form yet.
Fool, you're dealing with the ultimate life form.
That was hard.
Already possesses data. Observe. Chaos. Control. Life form data successfully copied. Scum. It'll take more than that to kill me, puppet! I know. Now I know everything about you, insect.
Look at this. Quality.
Soon, go. Don't you dare.
Classic. This is gonna boil down to.
I am not just the greatest warrior in the universe. I am all of them. If you are all of them, then so am I.
Yeah, copy
I'll
G.
never lose to a machine like...
Yep.
I'll crush you.
I kind of, yeah, I already knew. Like I said, at the end of the day, right, we are dealing with magic. You know what I mean? The Chaos Emeralds. I felt like I already knew they were giving him a very, very unfair advantage. Okay, yeah, all right. Also, I noticed how when he went into his Overlord form, Cell didn't even go to his super perfect. He didn't go to a super perfect form, right? He kind of stayed in his base one, which means that power was equivalent. But yeah, once Chaos Emeralds came out, it was a wrap.
So now Metal's got all the powers of the Chaos Emeralds and the Z Fighters?
He copied Cell.
Well, that world's fucked. Our bad.
Cell may have been one of the greatest threats in Dragon Ball Z, but Eggman's greatest creation ultimately proved too much for him. Let's break this down into 4 categories: strength, speed, abilities, and adaptation.
First up, who was the strongest? Well, it's no surprise that any version of Cell was gonna be way more powerful than base Metal or Neo. Even just using the manga, blowing up a solar system is far beyond the level of power output Metal can match.
Without his stronger forms. With them, the power gap entirely reversed. Not only could Metal match Cell's solar system busting or scaling from Frieza, but he could surpass it with the universe-destroying power of the Emeralds.
But hang on, Wiz. Those Namekians said that Cell was strong enough to threaten a universe on his own.
They did, but they didn't specify how, and there's nothing suggesting he could destroy it in one go. Especially since it's only brought up theoretically and without any time frame.
Even being generous and assuming he could just blow it up, final bosses like Time Eater and Solaris can destroy the wider multiverse, and Super Neo Metal would scale to them. Metal Sonic takes the edge in strength.
And with Sonic characters being known for their speed, you might think that was an easy win for Metal.
At his max speed in his super form, he should be comparable to entities like the Time Eater, who in Shadow Generations can destroy entire universes in seconds. By using the radius of the observable universe, we can estimate the Time Eater's destructive wave traveled at about 180 quadrillion times faster than light.
Certainly impressive, but let's compare that to Goku's flight from Heaven to Hell shortly after the Cell games, which covered roughly a universe in distance at approximately 180 quadrillion times faster than light.
Hey, just like Time Eater. The difference, though, was that Goku was in his base form, way slower than Super Saiyan 2 Gohan or Super Perfect Cell.
Factoring in Super Saiyan multipliers, Super Perfect Cell can move upwards of 100 times faster than that, and so 100 times faster than Metal Sonic. Somehow, Cell takes the edge in speed. You know, the thing Metal was designed for.
Wasn't expecting that. Let's see if any of their abilities could tip the scales.
They shared many of the same powers, like telekinesis, force fields, and energy projectiles. Of note though, Cell's regeneration was clearly superior, able to fully heal from a single cluster of microscopic cells.
On top of that, Cell's Saiyan genes would let him grow in power every time he almost died, and his Cell Juniors gave him the numbers advantage.
And considering Super Neo Metal had a time limit, Cell would have a big advantage in a battle of attrition.
But with Chaos Control, that became a lot tougher.
Cell and his juniors.
Yeah, facts. You know what I mean? He can absorb all of the chaos, for ultimate power for that regular, for that time, for that buff that has a time limit, or you can just use them individually. You know what I'm saying? Like on some Thanos type stuff, right? Combined, they got great power. Use them individually, you dang near indestructible.
Had no way to deal with Metal boosting his speed or stopping time, something that countered Cell's speed advantage and left him open. And with Silver's psychokinesis, or the Emerald spatial distortion, Metal could seriously impair Cell's healing.
So it helped that Cell could fall back on his martial arts abilities in a pinch.
Despite effectively being a newborn, Cell's genetic instincts allowed him to best Earth's most skilled warriors back to back to back.
Metal may have copied Eggman's brains, but he definitely isn't as good of a fighter. The Sonic heroes haven't trained like the Z fighters, and Metal's been beaten by all of them a bunch of times. So all that in mind, abilities is roughly a wash.
Which leaves us with the one thing they're both known for, their capability to evolve and become more powerful in response to their opponents, aka their adaptation.
And frankly, that's where this back and forth comes.
Am I the only person that reads that as adaptation? I'm reading it completely wrong, but for some reason, every freaking time I don't read it as adaptation. I always read it as adaptation. And I know that's wrong.
completely breaks. Because at the end of the day, metal can copy Cell, but Cell can't absorb metal.
Cell's ability to physically absorb an opponent is primarily viable against foes he can match or overpower.
Even if he took metal by surprise, he can't absorb fully inorganic robots like Android 16.
Cell was only able to absorb androids 17 and 18 because they were primarily organic.
They're actually more like cyborgs and are only called androids in the English translation.
Metal, on the other hand, can copy a target's biodata through only a few seconds of direct eyesight, something he could easily accomplish during a time stop.
And using it on Cell means
crazy
he wouldn't
ability.
just get Cell's powers, but the powers of all of the Z Warriors too.
Remember, Metal's copying applies to abilities that fundamentally affect his own biology.
That is OP. Oh my goodness, that is OP. That man, see, man, I already knew it was a rap when I heard that, bro. God, that's such an OP ability. What? Couple of seconds, all of your bio data is his. Man, on top of everything he was already doing.
Like Espio's invincibility or Chaos's liquid body. Nothing Cell has would be off limits, especially given all of Cell's powers were genetically encoded in the first place.
Bio.
Quite literally biodata.
Cell's Saiyan power-ups? Copied. Cell's regeneration? Copied. Cell's key techniques? Believe it or not, copied.
Chaos Emeralds are described as being able to produce life energy, similar to Ki. So there's a precedent for him being able to replicate Cell's power set. And at this point, there's nothing stopping Metal from, say, stopping time and using a Kamehameha to vaporize him at a cellular level. Just like Gohan did.
Cell might be able to do anything the Z Fighters know how to do, but that's not gonna help him, cause Metal can do anything Cell knows how to do. Strange, isn't it?
Cell just doesn't have any options to retaliate that Metal wouldn't also possess, including any of his previous advantages. Metal's copy ability is just that overpowered.
Oh, I guess now I get why they called it Sonic CD.
Why's that?
Cell died.
Oh God, dude.
Wiz, you get it?
Okay, all right.
CD?
Yeah,
Wiz, where you go? Come on back.
Yeah, I knew
Next
it.
time on Death Battle.
Rizé, Chainsaw Man, Rizé, and Fire Force, Bakugo, Rizé, and
Subscribe
Bakugo.
and join as a member to see.
Wow, Bomb versus Bomb. Now that would be a good one. I need to go back and read up on Rizé. I did not see the movie, but I did read the manga. I need to go back and catch up, but that's gonna be a good one. So Bombhead versus Bombhead. But yeah, I kind of knew that was gonna be a wash. I was sitting there trying to hold on to the thought that maybe Cell had something, but you know, I feel like a better matchup would have been like if we like Magic versus Magic. You know what I mean? Like maybe Boo. I feel like Boo is possible. May have, since he is Magic. He's like, you know what I mean? Anyway, I'm just yapping. You let me know what y'all thought about this matchup. Dave's out.